Yo, what is up, Sims and Lefkoe newsletter family? How are you?
Newsletter.
Do you even know that we have a newsletter?
I mean, I found out last week because my wife told me one day.
Oh, she subscribed?
Yeah, thanks for telling me.
Thanks for subscribing. Listen, man, you don't need to know what goes under the hood. So, look, the podcasts are getting longer because Sims is becoming the expert of quarterbacks, and I figured let's answer iTunes comments in the newsletter. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start off first with J.R. Burtot 1995. Guys, I love the podcast. It helps me get through some rough days of medical school. I love hearing your takes. Lefkoe, try to cut off Sims just a little bit less.
You're an asshole, Lefkoe. Shut your freaking mouth.
I almost cut you off right there.
Yeah, no, you did.
I watch the show sometimes and I go, I really do fucking cut him off a lot. Well, the problem is, and we've talked about it. I've been working with you for now over 4 years.
Yes.
And I know what you're going to say,
right,
but I forget that they don't know what you're going to say.
Yeah, thank you.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Hawk Panther 3, best sports podcast, hands down. I used to listen to First Take, Undisputed, and stuff like that, but those big networks show pale in comparison to the two main dudes at BR, Lefkoe and Sims. Honest question, though. I've seen on Twitter other analysts go after Sims, Matt Chatham specifically. Why all the hate? I seriously don't understand why people diss on Sims. Ignore the hate and keep being you. I did see a tweet from Matt Chatham. I responded to it from the Sims and Lefkoe account. It said, if you're going to get upset about Chris Sims's analysis, save your time. It's ridiculous anyway, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'd bet whatever. And I responded, what do you want to bet on? Like, let's bet, Matt Chatham.
All right, my first question is, who's Matt Chatham?
I think he played for the Patriots, and now he works up in Boston.
I'm going to look him up.
He apparently tackled somebody in the Super Bowl, like a fan that ran on the field. But I think they were talking about like quarterback analysis or people in New England still thinking that you hate Tom Brady.
Yeah, whatever. Matt Chatham's coolest. And
I think the reason people are hating on you is you're becoming the young voice of NBC. You're the lead NFL analyst for Bleacher Report, and you've been the lead NFL analyst on ESPN for the last 55 days.
Yeah, I don't know what Matt Chatham is or does, but trust me, I know more about football and quarterbacks than him. I can promise you that. Hey, up yours, Matt Chatham.
Rich Haley, keep it up. Hey, guys, love the show. I always look forward to what you have to say because I know it's unfiltered and what you truly believe. It is funny, man. There's so many fakers out there. It feels free to say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
There has been some noise about the Eagles if they will be able to keep Foles. However, not a lot to talk about the fact Wentz tore his knee up in December, not in training camp, not in the first month of the season, but at the very end. As a Rams fan, I have a painful memory of what happened to Bradford 2 seasons in a row. I'm interested to hear how you think the Eagles will handle this. Keep up the good work. The Eagles have come out, as we're recording this on Monday, and said they have fielded some offers around a second-round pick.
Right.
But I've also heard another report that says they want a Sam Bradford-type trade, which would be a first-round pick for Nick Foles. How do you think the Eagles handle this, Mr. Christian?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to hold pretty strong with what they expect back. I mean,
they should.
As they should is right. And like our commenter there pointed out, Hawk.
No, Rich Haley.
The next one. Yeah, Rich is right. I mean, it's this is a December injury for Carson Wentz, so you're not sure where he's going to be. Now, if you've listened to us over the last few weeks, I would say this: if you think Carson Wentz is going to be back healthy, ready to go, I would look to trade Nick Foles because I think it can divide the locker room. I know my dad thinks the other way.
And I would tell you as a Philadelphia fan who's used to a lot of injuries that don't actually play out to their timetables with the Sixers, I think they need to get blown away to make a trade for Nick Foles.
So if they get a first round, you're going to be good with that.
Him. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then my thing is
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think a first round pick, no one's going to trade a first round pick for Nick Foles. I mean, again, we got to stop being Johnny Medias of the moment. I mean, it was December 27th, and everybody was saying Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah, but we didn't think a first-round pick was coming for Sam Bradford.
No, but I mean, it could be justified that way a little bit.
But that's what I'm saying is, I look at Nick Foles and I go, there could be a market.
Right.
Let's say the Jets don't get Kirk Cousins, which it doesn't look like they're going to get, and then the draft comes around, they don't get the guy they want there. You know, they need to find a team that fails in free agency and the draft or suffers an injury.
Well, and that could very easily happen.
There's just a lot of other options out there right now.
There is. I mean, Arizona, we'll see what they do. The Buffalo Bills, what are they going to do if they cut Tyrod Taylor before the start of the league year? There's a lot of things, yes.
All right, let's go to Jimmy Rod 77. Kill a Cam. You guys taking this to a new level with Cam. He is the cockiest guy ever. I saw him in the Newark airport years ago, and I was afraid to approach him. I finally did, and he was the most modest, gracious gracious guy. Will always be his fan. Great work, fellas.
Yeah, can we get him? Are you going to get him? What?
Cameron.
I know you're going to get him.
We already got him.
I mean, I want him all fucking year, dude. I mean, one time we already got him.
No, we're going to get him. I just need to figure out how often do we bring him on to talk basketball. Like this week, I don't know if we do him again.
No, we don't need him this week. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Like once a month
That's
type
what I'm
of
saying.
thing?
Yeah, like
Okay.
once a month, whatever. But he had a great time, and I'll say this, respect to Cam. Every fucking person in this office that came up to him, he was like, hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy.
Couldn't have been nicer.
Trent VK, worst run game in the league 4 years running. Bob Quinn said this offseason his priority is to fix the Lions' awful running game. Does he get a higher-end free agent like Carlos Hyde and draft a player late, or do you think he gets a player in the first few rounds and signs a second-tier free agent for competition? This is my favorite podcast out there. Keep on keeping it real.
I would think that
Thanks, Trent.
all of that happens. I would think that he signs a free agent that's, a value buy to get at the running back position. You still got Amir Abdullah there,
I'm
right?
saving Amir Abdullah for my third down.
Well, yeah, right. And you don't really know. You can't depend on Amir Abdullah.
No.
I mean, he hasn't been the same guy that we saw at Nebraska. He had the foot injury that certainly was an issue for him, overcoming that. And I really would think they probably drafted running back as well somewhere in the mid-rounds.
I also think the thing about the Lions that people forget is the Taylor Decker injury that threw off all of their plans in the beginning of the year and messed up their O-line.
Yeah.
And I think that in the end of the year, their O-line started getting healthier and it was better.
It did.
But I would invest in a few different ways on that running back position because it's famous now. Mm-hmm. Lions haven't had a running back. I mean, Juick Bell was their hope for a few years.
I mean, it's amazing, the lack of stats in their running game.
Especially as all these other teams, when the Packers get a running back that used to be a wide receiver, the Bears get their future in the fifth round.
Well, the Packers, we can't talk about them in running backs either. That's not a good example.
Crazy. Jake Bortles writes Sims QB rankings.
Jake Bortles?
Came here because Sims is brilliant on the Le Batard show, but what started as a joke is actually probably the best sports analysis on the air. The show is great, but I think Sims should fist fight Blake Bortles.
He might beat me up, though. I don't know.
He doesn't need to, because if I was Blake Bortles
and
I saw you, I would look at you and go, I have 36 million reasons not to give a fuck who the fuck you are.
That's right. That's probably what I would say, too.
Right?
Exactly right.
I would say, I got paid even with all your shade.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck you. I got paid even with Sim shade.
I like that.
Ben Rock 302, authentic. I like the authenticity of this podcast. Just guys talking sports, not worried about being politically correct and clean.
Yeah.
Not afraid to tell it like it is and
not
curse
afraid
a few
to say
times.
white guys aren't that fast, except once in a while.
Once in a while, they're fast. Sims has always been my favorite when analyzing things. Checked out the podcast. Yo, Lefkoe, Super Bowl champs, baby! Go Birds. Neither guys are biased, provide good insight. Awesome. Great guest interviews. Thank you, Ben Rock.
Thank you, Ben.
Blunt Force Trauma. We need this as a daily podcast. Unbelievable. I always get excited for the new pod. Honestly, hate the off days. As a Lions fan, I think with Stafford in his prime, we have a defined championship window. I agree.
Agreed.
I'd say it's like 3 to 4 years right now.
Yeah.
We're coming towards that top of the post.
Right.
With Lions and top...
The post that happens there? It's the top of the post.
It's a bell curve. With Lions in top 8 in cap space, why not tag Ansa, sign Tremaine Johnson to go opposite Slay, and draft D-line and running back in the top 2 rounds? Wouldn't that get Patricia a championship foundation? Gotta go big or go home. Can't wait for Le Batard to freak out with how high Sims ranks Stafford. Time for the national media to wake up. You can't talk about it.
I can't.
But we know at the podcast that Stafford's definitely going to be up there, and it's going to fucking there's going to be like 8 days in a row, I think, where they go, Stafford's got to be next. And then But what do you think about Blunt Force Trauma's plan? Franchise Ansa, sign Tremaine, and then pay for draft D-line and running back.
Well, they did that already, right? They franchised Ansa. That happened. No, I think it happened.
I don't think. I'll check. I'll check. You keep talking.
I'm pretty sure that happened. I thought that happened this weekend. Either way, they need another shutdown corner on that side of the football. It's not like a desperation move, but they got to just start doing things to help out Matt Stafford. Every game can't be.
He did get franchised.
Yeah, I thought so. It's all right. All good. And I understand them. In a year where there's not great pass rushers in the draft and not a great pass rushers in free agency, it's probably the smart move. And they drafted him, and I get that. And really he's got the size and measurables to where his game's not going to fall off anytime soon. I'm not saying he's going to be a 12-sack-a-year guy, but he's going to be a good player for a lot more years. But I like that plan of attack. And Tremaine, yes, I talked about that already. You weren't listening in that part.
Okay,
but that would be awesome.
Yeah, we got a lot of Lions fans, and I dig that. West Coast spread, GAs. Love the pod, been a loyal listener for over a year now. I'm a Division I GA who has a pretty solid relationship with most of the players. I'm curious, how did Sims interact with the GAs at Texas and how they were viewed in such a big program? Love you guys. Keep it going. Hashtag I could take 8 Fendricks.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's taken more Fendricks than you could take.
I don't know. We got to see this guy.
Yeah, sure. We don't know West Coast spread.
He might be an ex-Division I middle linebacker
so
or something.
What were your GAs?
Well, Tom Herman, the head coach of the Texas Longhorns right now, was one of the GAs that was there with
graduate
me.
assistant.
He was a graduate assistant. Yeah, he was great. I mean, I was always great to the graduate assistant guys. They were awesome to be around. We could just talk ball. I knew they weren't like judging me like the coaches might be if I told them what I really did on a Friday night.
Yeah, because they're kids too.
They're kids too. Exactly. They were just in college. So, man, guys, the GAs, quality controls, equipment guys, those were always my best buds in the NFL and in college.
Yeah, that's why when the whole Tom Brady deflate thing happened, they're like, why was he texting? It's like, no, you probably text with those guys.
Yeah. Yes.
But that was
just not NFL. 70 times the day of the investigation.
This one is from, we're going to do 3 more. Sketchy Tacos. We need to make Reddit, Sims, and Lefkoe a thing. First of all, big fan of the show. I've been listening for a little over a year, and then my overall football knowledge has grown exponentially. I'm a 49ers fan, and there's talk about signing Tremaine Johnson. I didn't study film and rely on statistics. What makes Sims consider Tremaine Johnson the 5th best corner in the NFL?
Yeah. Tremaine Johnson, first of all, tremendous length and physicality at the line of scrimmage. And for a big guy, I mean, he can run. I mean, he's... For me, he is one of those guys. He is the modern-day NFL corner, exactly what you want. He's not going to get, boxed out for 50-50 balls against the Julio Jones and the A.J. Greens of the world on a consistent basis. And he's got tremendous ability in transition, what we would say in the scouting world, to be able to transition out of the back pedal and put his foot in the ground and break on the ball or turn his hips when somebody turns him around, and then he can return and break on the football. But, yeah, for my money, he is. I think, what did I have him listed at? Number 5 during the season? Yeah, he's legit.
Then he goes on to say, Sketchy Tacos, start a Reddit page where the listeners can continue an open conversation about football and other topics. You can even have the Constitution on the sidebar. It would be tight. I'm going to put this back to you, Sketchy Tacos, or anyone out there. You guys want to start a Sims and Lefkoe Reddit? I'm down. I'll probably jump on a little bit more, but my thing is like that to me is something I would want the fans to do. I know you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't even know. Right, I mean, I know Reddit,
like,
but
for example,
what is Reddit? Like, I don't even really know what it does or is.
I'm gonna fucking. It's like a user-generated world, right? Where it's like a message board,
right?
Where like the NFL Reddit, there's just constantly like new stories going up that's collected from all over the internet,
right?
And then people can upvote it or downvote it based on if they think it's cool. It's just a conversation,
gotcha.
And I think it's more authentic when a fan does it. So if you guys want to start a Sims and Lefkoe Reddit, I would love that because I would love you guys to start talking to each other.
Right.
If you start it, I'll tweet it out. I'll post it. We'll talk about it on the show. But if you guys want to start it, man, that would be really, really cool. All right, 2 more. Echo Delta 13. Clearly the best sports podcast. Couple years in, still love the pod. Only place for legit, unbiased content with no fillers and wasting time like the other shows. Question: can we get a quality breakdown of specific and detailed traits on this draft? Tired of hearing loves football or big time. How about a legit breakdown between throwing motion, arm velocity, touch, release speed, typical footwork? I think we do that.
I do. We did. I mean, we did it last week for sure with the quarterback position, and we'll continue to do that. I'm still in my early phases, so just, again, we haven't even got to free agency. The draft is 8 weeks away. It's more than 8 weeks away.
Yeah.
So
we're going to
we'll get there.
All right, last one for today. J2, the DDDDDD. Shanahan versus Gruden offensive installation. Gentlemen,
how crazy is it they're both in the Bay Area? I was thinking of that the other day. That they're in the Bay Area.
I'm just thinking about this right now.
Right.
That the state of California has Gruden, Shanahan, and McVay.
Right.
Shanahan, like 3 of the best offensive minds we've ever seen.
All came from
and
Gruden.
2 guys that studied under Gruden and were like his bitch boy.
Yeah.
And now they're all in California.
Right.
That's wild.
And his other bitch boy is the offense coordinator here in the New York Jets, which was Jeremy Bates. He was the bitch boy before Kyle Shanahan, who was the bitch boy before Sean McVay.
What is this, offensive assistant?
Offensive quality control bitch boy, right.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yep.
Question is, Kyle Shanahan's system has been said, I believe by Sims, to take 2 years for a quarterback to fully understand it. 1 year to learn the playbook, 1 year to implement it. How long would you say Derek Carr is going to take to learn John Gruden's offense? Has John been away for so long that we won't know all the new wrinkles, and it could be 3 years?
Oh, no, it will not. Now, like you've heard this weekend, Gruden's pissed off, right, because he can't meet with the players, which he should be. I mean, if I was the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, I would be breaking the rules on a daily basis. Fuck the CBA. I want to be a better quarterback. I'm going to sneak into the facility and meet with John Gruden, and if anybody wants to tell on me, then I'm going to say, hey, yeah, fuck, I was there. That's right. Find me. Whatever.
Why not just go to John Gruden's house?
I don't. You could do it. Whatever it is. Hopefully they are doing it. I mean, screw the CBA. You're going to tell me how hard I can work at my own job. Like, fuck off, okay? This is it. Like, when I say that, like, knowing the offense in general, right, with, like, Kyle Shanahan and all that.
You're such a Neanderthal right now.
So, I don't care. I got to stand up. Kyle Shanahan, yeah, when I say that he won't know the offense fully until year 2, you know, I mean that, like, in every detail and being, like, almost like, you know, like have a synonymous way of thought with Kyle Shanahan to where he goes, oh, he's calling this play. I know why he's calling this play. He wants me to look here. Like, that's what I really mean.
Yeah.
He'd still be able to orchestrate the offense in year 1. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo do that. Now, Carr, it's definitely going to be a culture shock just from the standpoint of audibles, formations, things he has to do with the line of scrimmage. More is going to be put on him than ever before. But he's a smart kid, and he has a little base of this offense already. And, no, I really think Gruden will be smart and give him the amount that he thinks is, like, realistically handleable by the offense and the quarterback. Because he's got to worry about more than just the quarterback. He's got to worry about, like, oh, Amari Cooper's got to learn a whole bunch of new shit. My offensive line has to learn, like, 10 new calls at the line of scrimmage. But I really think by the time training camp comes around, they're going to have a good feel for what the offense is. The season starts. It'll be another notch up from that.
Yeah.
And then by about halfway through the year, Gruden's going to go, okay, I can throw the kitchen sink at the guys now.
That's what I'm curious about Gruden is – you've always said this about McVay and Kyle, that they can open up the offense for their quarterback and do what their quarterback is good at doing.
They can make it simpler than John could.
And that's the thing is I feel like, you know how as children compared to our parents, we know all the strengths of our parents, but we fix the things that they weren't good at.
Right.
I feel like McVay and Kyle were like, Gruden was a genius, but he made people adapt to him, and I'm going to adapt for other people.
Right.
I don't know if Gruden, now that he's gone away and come back, I don't know what we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get stubborn Tampa Bay. I don't know if we're going to get young, innovative Oakland. I would imagine as you get older, you get more stubborn in your ways, just evaluating older people. But I don't know which Gruden we're going to get. I don't know.
I think his offense is going to be what it always has been, and he's going to steal a lot from what he's seen from McVay and Shanahan over the last 4 to 5 years.
My favorite moment of watching the Combine was, and we're going to wrap here, was Mariucci sitting down with Baker Mayfield and drawing up a West Coast offense play and looking at Baker and going, you've been studying the West Coast offense? And I wanted to go, Mariucci, no one gives a fuck about the West Coast offense anymore. Like, stop it.
Hey, it's a great...
I love Mariucci, though.
No, Mariucci's the man. The scheme, yes, at its base level of the West Coast offense, the offenses we make fun of, the Packers, the Seattle Seahawks with Darrell Bevel, that was basic West Coast stuff. Right, Ben McAdoo, which was from Green Bay. Yeah, to where you're just like, geez. I mean, New England puts these plays in when the rookies come in the first week of OTAs, and this is what they run. Yeah. And then Brady never even runs these plays, but these are the core plays of Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and they have to make chicken salad out of chicken shit all the time.
Yeah.
No, Gruden, McVay, Shanahan, their terminology is West Coast, but they're thinkers, outside-the-box thinkers. Same with Sean Payton, to where they always add on the offense, and they're not afraid to try new stuff, even though if someone's not taught them, they're going to go, let me watch this play 40 times in a row and figure out how the fuck to teach it to my quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go on as much as people would think.
Guys, thank you so much for subscribing to the newsletter. If you subscribe to my personal YouTube, and that's where you're seeing this, awesome, letting you guys know, Sims and Lefkoe full episodes and interviews will be moving to Bleacher Report's main YouTube page in the coming weeks.
Whoa.
So go over to Bleacher Report, the YouTube page, subscribe, because you're going to start seeing us popping up over there. And my personal page will probably be just for iTunes comments and other interviews and stuff like that. So check that out. Thanks for subscribing to the newsletter. We'll holler at you motherfuckers, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out, homies.